dab.
Oh god.
Dab on the meters.
So this is a late 2016 Tesla Model X, which I got my hands on by using a service called Turo, hashtag not sponsored, which is sort of the Airbnb for cars. I'll include a discount code in the video description down below for any first time users. So I got my hands on this car because not only was this close by, but also I've been dying to try the Autopilot features. But what I wasn't expecting, that this car is jam-packed with so much more than just Autopilot. After all, this is Tesla, so unless you've been living under a rock, you should already be familiar with the automotive brand Tesla. Remember, these are the same guys that have a Tesla Roadster orbiting around space. So the engineers that were involved in creating this are a little bit smarter than your standard automotive engineer. Fun fact, do you know that Teslas could actually float? And some Tesla models actually have a biodefense system, just in case of a nuclear disaster or any air pollution. And the Model X, although it's top heavy, it's almost impossible to roll these. It's like one of those kid punching bags that you just keep punching and no matter what, it's always gonna land straight back up. And so, in this video, I present to you living with the Model X. And we'll be covering all its fun little Easter eggs, its features, and some things you probably didn't know about this car that it can do. Now at first glance, when I first got the key, it looks like a Hot Wheel toy, but it's actually much more than that. This key actually has a bunch of different functionalities as well. Yeah, if you want to unlock the trunk, you simply just tap on the trunk, the hood, the frunk, or whatever it's called, even the doors. It's pretty self-explanatory and works extremely well. Once you simply place the key in your pocket, you could then simply approach the vehicle and the door will unlock, and once you're in, you can just press on the brake pedal and the door will shut for you. You can simply just select on the gear lever and you're on your way. That's how it is driving these things. And when you get out of the car, the door will automatically shut behind you as soon as you're about a few feet away from the vehicle. Oh, and if let's say you accidentally left like a door slightly open where the door didn't self-close itself, you can always press on the key and all your doors will automatically lock. And it doesn't just solely do it on one door, it will actually do it all 4 doors as soon as you press the key fob on top to lock all doors. Now one thing I noticed, although this car was debuted in 2014, it wasn't released to the public until late 2015. And although this car is a couple years old, be prepared if you open one of these doors up, the Falcon Wing doors in a public area, you're gonna grab everybody's attention. You have been warned. So there's a ton of Easter eggs in this car. Like the Rainbow Road Easter egg. You can change your GPS map into a Mars surface, as well as change your vehicle into some sort of space shuttle. And if you're feeling extremely jolly, you can actually change your turn signals to be Christmas jingles. And another recently added Easter egg is now you're able to play some Atari games. You got Space Invaders, Asteroids, Lunar Lander, Missile Command, and Centipede. So a really cool thing about these Teslas is that, similar to our phone, Tesla is constantly integrating new features with updates. And these new firmware updates can be done over the air at our home Wi-Fi. So there's no need to take the car in for service to get these new improvements. Our Model X was running the latest version 9 firmware, which gave us a new built-in dash cam by utilizing its already equipped cameras. And also new Easter eggs, which the vast majority of Easter eggs can be located in this menu. So if you ever find yourself in a Tesla, just hit the little Tesla logo on top of the screen and it will bring you to this page, and hit that little slider on top and this box will open up and all your important fun Easter eggs are going to be located in here. But if you're looking for more of those hidden Easter eggs from the Halo 3 days, there are some hidden ones you can find. Like whenever you plug in your charging port to the Tesla Model X or any Tesla, if you tap on the top button 10 times, it will actually do an RGB like pattern when it's charging. And there's a bunch of other ones as well. And the little call icon is an old school telephone, which by the way, if you hold for a few seconds, it will be changed to ahoy. So the center screen controls pretty much everything of the vehicle. Everything from the doors, you could close all the doors, open them up individually for your passengers, to simple AC and heater controls. Your dome lights doesn't control the passenger end though. For those, you actually have to manually tap on each LED dot to turn them on. Kinda odd. I don't know if it's a hidden feature, but only these ones are touch sensitive. And like most modern cars, this thing also allows you to adjust the suspension, but it does it in a different way. Let's say you have a steep driveway, you can actually lock this location, so the next time you don't have to go to the screen. The car will automatically know when it approaches this address, it's gonna raise itself up to make itself have enough clearance to drive on the driveway. Now when driving this car, this thing freaking moves. If you want to accelerate and pass a car, you have that on-demand power of instant torque to be able to do such thing. Now on the center gauge, Tesla put a lot of attention to detail of the vehicle. If you have your turn signal on, indicator will also show it on your display right here. And when you're braking, you can also see your brake lights as well, which is kind of cool. Now let's get to the fun part, Autopilot. How does that work? Well, to engage Autopilot, you just simply move the cruise control lever twice, like pull it towards you. But you have to make sure on the display, your Tesla sees both the two lanes in front of you. And then the blue steering wheel will pop up on the screen and Autopilot is now engaged. And it actually works really well. It was keeping its distance between the car in front of me, and you can actually see the screen to see what the Tesla is seeing, and it's thinking. It's able to identify a car from a truck to keep you safe from braking distance. Although there has been a few times where it actually got confused. It failed once on automatically parking itself and had no idea if this was a car or a truck. On identifying the two different type of vehicles. But needless to say, on the highway, this actually works flawlessly. In fact, we were actually playing tic-tac-toe because it was actually working so well. Wouldn't recommend doing this, but it was doing it. And it also handled turn curves really well too. The feeling and just seeing the steering wheel steer by itself was kind of frightening, but it was doing its thing. But I wouldn't 100% trust it, especially in the city. I don't feel confident enough that this thing will understand the differences between a stop sign or a stoplight at an intersection. I have braked because I didn't trust the thing. But even while cruising on the highway, there's a couple of times where the steering wheel, the vehicle will ask you to place your hand back on the steering wheel to know that you're still paying attention on the road. So it will give you these little warnings, and if you ignored all of them, the car will actually punish you by disabling Autopilot throughout your entire trip, which I thought was kind of funny. Now the Autopilot is only engaged when you're over the speed of 18 miles per hour and cannot exceed the speed limit 88, like the DeLorean from Back to the Future. I think this is another Easter egg Elon Musk did. And if you want to make a lane change, you simply just turn on your turn signal and the vehicle will automatically find a gap and change lanes for you, which is kind of funny. But it does obey the rule, so if the line does become a solid, the vehicle is not going to change lanes until that line becomes dotted again. We missed an exit because of that. But now when it comes to visibility, although it's a large size crossover, some people will say this is an SUV, it's really a crossover. The rearview mirror with those back seats, it's almost impossible to see what's going on in the back. But luckily for us, Tesla actually allows you to actually run your backup cam while you're driving to utilize it as a rearview mirror. And this backup cam, it does have a wide angle lens, so you can see your blind spots off this large screen pretty easily. But holy cow, the windshield off this thing. This is actually one of the largest windshields on any vehicle, so imagine the cost that it will cost to replace this if you ever get a ship or anything like that. And although it does seem to have like some sort of shade pattern on top to prevent the sunlight from burning your eyes or burning you period, it doesn't really do a good job. These sun visors are kind of a joke because they're so skinny and narrow. They do an okay job, but if the sun is directly above you, you're gonna get blind by the sun. And now, this is the 7-seater option. There's a couple other options you could get for the Tesla Model X. But one thing for sure, there's no entertainment system in the back of this vehicle. For a vehicle that's $80,000 or more, there's no screens, there's no anything. The only thing we really get back here is AC vents, as well as 2 glowing USB ports. And if you're wondering how you open up the Falcon Wing doors, there's actually these little levers right here. You pull to open up the wings and you push forward to close the wings. But that's really all you get back here. But for the driver and the passenger side, let's say your passengers are misbehaving themselves, you can actually move your passenger seats all off the center screen. So if you have kids kicking your seat in the back, you can just set them a little bit further away from you. And also, if you sit all the way in the back, I don't recommend sitting back here because once you're back here, there's really no way to get out. Once you're back here, you gotta wait for a driver or a passenger to move your seat forward. Now let's go ahead and talk about design flaws. Tesla has been known recently for some few minor misperfections, let's say. The doors, for example, when the Go-Wing doors are open, the Falcon Wing doors, there's a little section here that it's actually hitting the metal part sheet panel on top of the roof that actually created this nasty line from over the times of constantly opening and closing of the Falcon Wing doors. But that's about the only issue I saw with this Tesla model. But its interesting features kind of makes up for these small imperfections. Now this car does have something called summon mode. What that means is basically with either the key fob or the Tesla app, you can actually have full control of the car for moving it forward and back. And I've seen people utilize this in most interesting situations, like this guy, constantly moving his car back and forth between some 3 or 2 hour parking, avoiding that ticket fine. So you could kind of get creative with this. And don't worry, the car has sensors around in the back and the front, so if something does come close to the vehicle, it will automatically stop itself. Now, being an electric car, there's 3 different options when it comes to charging this thing. You could either charge it with a typical 120 volt outlet, which could take you 4 days to fully charge this thing, or a 240 outlet, which still typically power laundry, dryers, or other appliances, which can typically take 6 to 30 hours to charge. Or you could do the next best thing and take it to the Tesla supercharging station, which will take you about 30 minutes to fully charge this Tesla. And it's free to use for Model X's and S models. The 3, I believe you have to actually pay to recharge those. Now, waiting here with the Tesla, waiting for it to charge, I already felt the Tesla ownership tradition, as I noticed everybody else were just sitting in their Teslas for half an hour or so, waiting for their cars to fully charge, looking on their phone. This was just an odd sensation, and once the car was fully full, it's important to unplug it right away because you will get charged an additional fee for taking up parking space. And if you notice, the door cap was already malfunctioning, and this was just a 2-year-old car, making me question the durability for these high MSRP Teslas, as it was originally supposed to automatically open and close by itself. But there we go, that's pretty much the whole experience when it comes to living with the Tesla Model X. It is definitely a head turner, especially with those Falcon Wing doors. And the amount of tech that's inside this thing, and that crazy always on-demand power, it's no wonder why these cars are practically everywhere now. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this in-depth living with the car series that I'm testing out, do let me know by hitting that like button, as that not only lets me know, but I also help support the channel. And if you have a suggestion for a next video to feature, or any other tech related products, do comment down below. I'm always up to hear you guys' ideas. And if you made it this far to the video, you might as well hit subscribe, as I pretty much just cover anything tech related on this channel. So if you're a tech head like me, you're gonna definitely like my content. But as always, thank you guys for watching and take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.